Mrs. Kushner, and I'm going to show you some techniques in Fresco. Today we're going to work with spheres, so I'll actually start us from scratch. In Fresco, you're going to go to current screen size, and I'm going to kind of pinch in. I'm going to pick just a basic brush here, and I'm going to pick a hard round brush, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to make it a little smaller, like size 40. And then what I want to do is just make a circle, nothing crazy, just a circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. Of course, if you mess up, use your back button forward. Some people like to be kind of sketchy and kind of just sketch it around. That's all fine. I'm going to go ahead and hold my finger down here. Oops, there it goes. And I'm going to lock that layer. And then I'm going to go to my plus sign on the right and make a new layer. And drag the new layer under. And now I'm going to go ahead and choose a color that I like. So let's get this kind of pink color. What I'm going to do is we're going to work with the values. So if you look at this, the pink is the hue. That's the actual color. But then we've got our values from dark to light, the different like shades and tints. So what I'm going to start out by doing is getting kind of a dark value. And right now, again, I'm clicked on this layer underneath my circle. And I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit bigger of a brush, and I'm going to go ahead and just start painting. And you can kind of paint inside there, so it's kind of darker on the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and make a lighter value, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're just trying to kind of fill that area in, and I can kind of mimic the shape. Again, I won't go past my black line because it's pretty thick and it's on a different layer, and then I can get a lighter value as I go up. Okay, and if it's taking a little longer, I can get a bigger brush too. Again, you notice it's not perfect. I'm just kind of filling in that space. And then I can make an even lighter value. So I'm going to kind of go up there. So you see it gets lighter as I go up, and maybe I want to kind of mimic the shape here. And I can make it really light on the top. Okay, so I'm imagining that my light source is coming from the top left. All right, so I have just kind of general colors filled in. And now I'm going to go to the smudge tool. It's underneath the eraser. And I can actually play with the size of my smudge brush. I can play with the strength. How strong do I want the smudge? So I'm going to put it somewhere in the middle. Here's my smoothing. And I've got these other things about like how I want the smudge to look. So here I go. I'm going to go ahead and just smudge it in, and you can see what's happening. It's kind of blending in some of those white spaces that I had from before. And if I get a little sloppy and I kind of move outside the edge, that's okay because I can always go back and erase it later. So I'm just trying to kind of go to the edge here, and I'm just smoothing it in. And again, I think I'm going to make it even stronger. There I go. And I think I'll make it really smooth. So I'm just kind of working those areas, and I think I'll leave it like that. There it is, a little bit more smooth. So I'm keeping some of those details on the top, kind of following the shape of my circle there and blending it. And then I could also kind of bring down the strength if I want it to be a little less strong. So I'm just trying to kind of blend in my colors there, and you can really experiment with that. And your goal here is as you blend it in, we've now moved this from a circle to a sphere because a sphere is three-dimensional. And when you start adding those values, that's what makes it look really 3D. Okay, you could always go back and add some other values. So if I say, you know what, I need to work on my midtones in the middle a little bit, you know, I could throw something like that in there. And then maybe I want some more darks on the bottom. And then I can go back to my smudge and kind of work that in. So that's how you can kind of go back in and really mess with those values. All right, and once you like the way that it looks, I could also go to my eraser on these edges and kind of clean that up there. So if I went outside the edge, can use your eraser. And oops, I went a little too fast there. All right, so now I've got a sphere. And another thing that's really cool that you can do is, what if I want to take this texture? So something that I can do if I want to make like a bunch of spheres like this, I can go to my eyedropper tool. And you see I have two choices. I can pick one color, or I can click on the bottom left this multicolor swatch. And if I pinch out and I move it over top, you could see it's getting that entire sphere. Okay, so if you pinch it, that's what makes it smaller. So now I've got the entire circle. I want to bring it in a little bit. So it's going to get that part right there. Okay, and once I pick it, you can see on the top right, it's showing me what it's going to look like. It's showing me how that multicolor swatch is going to look like. And now I can go back to my brushes. And this is the coolest part. I can go ahead and now I'll pick like a bigger brush here, and now I could kind of make beads of this. So if I click, I'm just duplicating that sphere. So that's kind of fun. Almost looks like beads or planets or confetti. But when you overlap them, you can kind of make a really cool texture. Another thing that's really fun to do when you've got the multicolor brush is I could go ahead and try to write something. So let's say I bring this texture down, you know, and I'm thinking about Thanksgiving. Maybe I write the word thanks. So here I go. See how it's like a multicolor brush. Looks kind of 3D. So that is our work with the sphere and the multicolor selecting brush. I'm going to go ahead and go to my box with the arrow. I can make a quick export and I'll save an image. And if you want to see the process, of course, you can make a time lapse. Turn that in. Have fun, everyone, with those tools.